Rockin' Royal, rockin' Navy, know y'all with me, let's get it, baby, Rockin' Royal, rockin' Navy, know you with me, let's get it, baby. Boys just came back from their mission.
Welcome back to another edition of the KSL.com Rockin' Royal podcast. Here after the opening weekend of the 2025 Utah High School football season. Hopefully you guys got out to enjoy some return of the gridiron here in the great state of Utah and along the Wasatch front, even to the Wasatch back, whether you're a BYU fan or fan of another school that's just joining us. I gave you guys a couple of reasons to go enjoy some high school football from a Cougar recruit perspective on the last episode. You can check that back, rewind the tape if you will, if you missed it. As always, I'm Sean Walker, BYU beat writer for KSL.com, and I'm back here with another recruiting edition of the podcast because, like many of you, I did have an opportunity to go visit some high school gridiron, if you will, over the weekend. I went and I hung out with the Knights of Lone Peak during their 49-14 win over reigning 4A champion Crimson Cliffs. Not a very dominant experience, as the final score would indicate, for Lone Peak based off of the first half. It was barely a two-score game, and then they kind of just pulled away in the second half, and you really saw a lot of the talent start to build up. This Lone Peak team is pretty loaded. They're pretty stacked. They got some really good players, led, of course, by the twins, Tim Few transfers, wide receiver / defensive backs, Jaron and Keenan Pula, who each combined for 3 touchdowns, I believe. 3 touchdowns. 2 for Jaron and 1 for Keenan as well. Backup quarterback in Cruz Christensen, he played really well. But I wanted to head out there because Lone Peak has one of the early commits of BYU's 2026 recruiting class, and I'm probably giving him more credit than he would like, maybe more than he deserves, but I think he deserves a little bit of shine for BYU's 2026 recruiting class because Bott Mulitalo, the standout two-way lineman, offensive tackle and defensive end at Lone Peak, was really one of the early commits of this BYU 2026 class that has now risen as high as number 20 in the country by 247 Sports. It's 20 players deep. It's headlined, of course, by the 5-star quarterback. Everybody loves the big-name 5-star quarterback that is Ryder Lyons out of Folsom, California. And Brock Harris, the 4-star tight end from Pineview High School down in St. George, he gets his shine. I don't know if we talk about Bott nearly enough, but he was one of the first. He committed to BYU, and the gravy train kind of started rolling in, if you will, after that. They picked up commitments from guys like Ryder, guys like Brock, all the way down the line to guys like Ridgeline wide receiver and athlete Graham Livingston, who had a heck of a night in the Riverhawks win over reigning 3A champion Morgan, catching well over 120 yards in receiving, 3 touchdowns. Got a lot of shout-outs, a lot of boys on social media for his performance. This is a kid that I think is going to be really good and underratedly good for this BYU class. But you saw the ballers. Adam Bywater, the 2A linebacker out of Olympus High School, he had a nice night, I think, in his debut. Legend Glasker, the playing wide receiver right now at Lehigh High School, may project as a defensive back going forward, but he could certainly play both directions. I think PJ Taki had a nice game for Lehigh as well. Shout out to the Pioneers, and then guys like Kawi Akana from Orem High School, and then the aforementioned Brock Harris, Ryder Lyons. They obviously get plenty of attention, but the dudes in the trenches don't always get noticed. So I wanted to shine a little bit of light, and I caught up with Bott Mulitalo after the Knights' 49-14 win over Crimson Cliffs, and I got to know him about starting out his senior year, and then I really wanted to ask him, what gives? What is it with this BYU recruiting class? How did you guys kind of put this group together in relatively short order to where things just sort of spiraled and snowballed to be one of the best recruiting classes BYU football has ever had? And he was surprisingly honest with me. So without further ado, guys, here's my interview with Lone Peak offensive tackle and BYU commit Bott Mulitalo after their season opening win.
Let's get it. You know, it feels great. Our team's been working hard this whole week. we had some flaws throughout the week, but I feel like we came out today and we came competitive and aggressive. So
It feels like in the first half in particular today,
Mhm.
you guys really wanted to pound the rock and just show some physicality
Yeah.
against the defending 4A champs, all that
Yeah.
good stuff. Was that kind of an emphasis on especially on the offensive line for you guys?
yeah, no, it was a big game plan for our offensive line this week, especially with our starting quarterback out. We just planned to be aggressive on the offensive line and run the ball down the throat.
How do you feel like Cruz did stepping in there in a pretty tight spot? I mean, he put up 49 points for you guys, right?
Yeah, I mean, he did his thing. I mean, we all trusted him, and we just came behind him and we pushed him throughout the whole game.
I mentioned it a little off camera. I'm going to bring it on the record if you can. You've put on a little bit of weight since last year, I feel like.
Yes, sir.
What was this offseason like? A lot of lifting, like
Yeah.
some calorie diets? Like,
Yeah, no, I've been lifting a lot, training basically every day of the week, even on weekends. And then also I'm on a meal plan. So right now I'm weighing in at 305. Yes, sir.
What's this meal plan consist of? Like, is it like a number of calories? Is it types of calories, types of food? Like,
I don't really know. The guy that makes it, he like picks it up and he drops it off to me. And then I eat like 3 a day, but I've been sticking to that.
what kind of food is it? A lot of meat or?
Yeah, a lot of meat, protein, carbs, definitely a lot of that.
Just a lot of everything.
Yes, sir.
That's great. That's awesome. Well, a couple months ago, I mentioned I wanted to get a little recruiting update. You committed to BYU.
Yes, sir.
Still firmly committed to the Cougs, I'm assuming, or are you
Yes,
kind
sir.
of looking around?
No, I'm not leaving. I'm staying to the Cougs.
What did you like about BYU? And obviously, they bring back their offensive line coach, TJ Woods. I'm
Yes,
sure
sir.
he probably played a little bit of a role in your recruitment.
Just switching positions, I feel like I grew a strong relationship with him, like right off the bat, right when I switched. And just like their culture there, Coach Kalani, he's building something special and I want to be a part of it.
What you kind of got the ball rolling in a lot of ways on a really good recruiting class. You and I'll give a little bit of love to one of your fellow commits, Brock Harris.
Yeah.
The two of you kind of committed within like 10 days of each other.
Yeah.
And just started all sorts of momentum to a top 20 class nationally. Did you guys plan that, or was it just sort of happenstance? Like,
So it actually kind of led up to that. Me and Brock, we've seen each other on these recruiting visits. And so we talked to each other a lot, and we were just talking about hey man, what if we just stay home and be a hometown hero, man, and start something new. So we wanted to start something new, and then now look, we got Ryder, we got a couple other commits with us. So I feel like we're starting something.
it feels like you guys have developed some really good chemistry
Yeah.
in this recruiting class.
Yeah, we have.
What's behind that?
I feel like throughout camps and off season, we've all grew closer to each other because we've all been to college camps together, and also sometimes I train with some of them, like Jax Tannen. I love that guy. Right when he got there, I was so excited, but just chilling with the boys, building relationship with them for the season when we go. But I can't wait.
I actually just barely caught up with Jax. It's really funny that you bring him up. He's a really good dude. He talked about you. He said,
yeah.
I can't wait to get on campus with
Yes, sir.
Paul. He's my boy. When did you guys kind of mesh and click, I guess?
We actually met at the Oregon camp, the Saturday Night Live.
Really?
And then after that, our relationship just bonded just like that. And so ever since then, we've been keeping in touch over social media, text. And, we still keep in touch to this day. So yeah, I love Jax.
I like to, and maybe I'll wrap it up on the time. I have one or two more, but I like to kind of end some of these with just sort of a message that you'd like to send to your new fan base. You said you're still firmly committed to the Cougs. I'm not going anywhere, I think is what you told me.
Yeah.
Little Wolf of Wall Street style.
Yeah, no,
right?
I'm
not going anywhere.
1,000% committed to the Cougs. I'm not going anywhere. I want to be a hometown hero and change the culture over there. So I'm ready.
Is there anything that you just kind of Cougar Nation to know about you before you enroll out there?
I'm going to give it my all on the field and give 100% every play and protect the quarterback with my life.
Probably a lot of BYU fans going to come out here to Lone Peak, watch
sir.
you guys try to contend for another state championship.
Yes, sir.
Just what? Give me a sell. Why should BYU fans come out here and then watch you and the Knights and a couple of Utah commits over there in the Pula Twins? We won't talk about where they're going. But they're cool right now. They're cool right now, right?
I feel like the culture at Cougar Nation, I feel like we're all connected somehow. And, that's one of the reasons I committed there, just as a community. They always show out and support for us. So I feel like that's one of my reasons why.
last question, just some basic housekeeping. Are you planning on enrolling early? Like, are you going to graduate early, or are you going to stick it through all the way? And then, like, what are kind of your future plans?
Yeah, I'm planning on enrolling early. I'm already ahead in all my classes, so I'm ready to go early.
So you're ready to graduate early and
Yes,
get on
sir.
campus in January?
Yes, sir.
Okay, love that. Have they talked to you about your position? You can play on the interior, outside?
Tackle.
You're going to
Yeah.
play tackle?
Upstate and we
Okay.
don't
So
do
you
no
and Jack's
uptown.
really good for
Fat 'em
Yeah.
singing like a
Yes, sir.
flute. We don't play around with no oops or them Aggies up in Ogden. They not rocking how we rocking. Rockin' Navy, rockin' Royal, rock your hands, rock-a-bye babies, rock the stands with the fans. If you with us, raise your hands, rock-a-bye baby.